Call the meeting of the Madison County Fiscal Court to order. Kenny?
Master King.
Here.
Master Barger.
Here.
Master Hughes.
Here.
Master Combs.
Here.
Judge Clark.
Here. Y'all have had a chance to look at the minutes of the last meeting. If there are no questions or discussion, a motion be in order to approve those that's submitted on your iPads.
So move. Second.
Master King.
Yes.
Master Barger.
Yes.
Master Hughes.
Yes.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Judge Clark.
Yes. Treasurer's report, I think Glenna has that for us today, and then she also wants to go over one other thing that was in your claims list to make sure you all understand it.
Okay, I've handed out the treasurer's report. As of 12/31/2013, we had a total fund balance of $7,854,772.76. The total fund balance on 1/31/2014 is $8,143,142.66. As of the end of January, our general fund revenues are at 78.2%. Our expenditures are at 41.9%. Our road fund revenues are at 85.8%, and our expenditures are at 67%. Our jail fund revenues are at 63.7%, and our expenditures are at 61.7%. CSEP fund revenues are at 21.1%, and our expenditures are at 16.5%. And our 911 fund revenues are at 60%, and their expenditures are at 55.6%. Now, throughout this time of year, we should be somewhere around 58%. So our road fund and jail fund is a little bit over in their expenditures, but jail fund mostly due to population, and the road fund, we paid a lot of extra salt right now. But we are going to be doing a budget amendment back into the road fund soon that will bring that number back down. The other thing I handed out to you was the Sheriff's Office 2013 annual settlement. As you all know, a couple years ago, we started trying to settle up and seeing what their balance is every year instead of waiting until the end of the term so we can see how it's going. We had always before, as soon as we would get the 25% check in from county fees office, we would turn around and write a check to the sheriff's office right then. So it was done quarterly. So every time we would receive a check, we would turn around and write a check to them and go ahead and give it. Department for Local Government asked that we not do that, asked that we would wait till the end of the year to give them all their 25% fee at one time. So that's the reason we had not given them any money since November of 2012. So if you see on that, it says December 2012, $107,686.99. We had never given them that money. We had received it from county fees, but we had never given it over to the sheriff's office. Then the full year of 2013, they brought in $400,039.67. We had only budgeted for them to bring in, we had made an estimate of $375,000. So they brought in $25,000 more than what we had originally budgeted. It makes a total of $507,726.66 that we have collected from the county fees office and that we owe to the sheriff's office for 25% fees. And then if you look in the fiscal court 13-14 budget for the sheriff's support, and it's also in the 2013 sheriff's budget, we had budgeted that we would give them $175,000 in extra support on top of the 25%. So when you add those two together, it's $682,726.66. If you look in your vendor's claims list, we do have a check going to the sheriff's office for that exact amount this court. Now, to reconcile back to what the only report that the state has is called the EMARS report, the balance on the sheriff's account as of 12/31/2013 was in the red $1,113,374.15. You add back in the 25% fee that we're giving and the $175,000 in extra support, and then also all their expenditures are counted to date. So at the end of December, all their expenditures have been taken out of there, but their receipts have not been added back in. So they're always behind a month in their receipts. So you have to add back in the receipts that they collected in December, but they did not deposit till January. You have to add those back in, which was $448,661.90. And that leaves them that they had a balance of $18,014.41 to the good at the end of 2013. Does anybody have any questions about
I
that?
have to tell you, that is absolutely excellent.
That's the best we've ever.
It's the best we've ever had. We've always, when they first started this, you know, with the sheriff and the clerk, and nobody in Frankfurt really could give us an explanation on where we were quarterly, where we were at the end of the year. I mean, the first time we did this, when we went to the fee pooling, was we didn't have any idea till the end of the term, and I know that we had to go into our reserve and take $1.275 million out to cover the sheriff and the clerk at that time. So we've tried to look at different ways that we can stay on top of this, different ways where we know exactly what they're spending, what we're giving them, and now that we're giving it to them the end of the year, the accountability is second to none. I mean, we know exactly what he's spending, exactly what we're giving him, and it's coming out really good, better than we've ever
And the
had.
reason why I'm not doing a report on the clerk is we don't give him back any money. We don't give him back 25% fee. We don't give him extra support, and he's doing fine. He's in the lag, so he's.
Yeah, we're about 500,000 a year average. That's 25% that goes to the fiscal court that we don't get back. And unlike the sheriff's department, we're a low overhead, fee-rich office, and I think that's part of my job is to keep that as low as possible so the fiscal court can use that $500,000 a year for things it needs, like the sheriff's department, road department, things like that.
Yeah,
I
it's,
just want to say I was over with the treasurers also. They and Glenna sat down and explained this to me while I was there, and I'm glad she did, because I had a little more time to listen to her and understood it a lot better.
And anytime you all would like to stop by anytime. If you have any questions about anything, I'll be glad to go over them with you.
so it's really, this is the way we wish it had been a long time ago. But it's working out fine, and Mike's doing an excellent job. Kenny's doing an excellent, everybody's doing an excellent job with this. Okay, any questions for Glenna about the treasurer's report and the sheriff's settlement? If not, we'll go into the agenda, and we want to award bids for the OC moving and storage. Carl, you want to come up? Kind of give a brief kind of scenario of what's going on and what you've done up to this date and what you're looking at in the next couple of weeks.
Okay. You should be in your drop-down boxes or whatever on your iPads, the bid comparison. We publicly bid out the moving, because when we solicited prices, no one was below 20 grand and above 20 grand unless it's an emergency or state price contract. You have to bid it out. So we bid it out. We thought we'd get the three guys that gave us a price to give us a bid. Well, we were wrong. Only one of the guys that gave us a price actually bid the project when we put a spec together and all that. But we did have one new bidder, so we wound up with two bids. That's what's on your spreadsheet. Vincent Feister and Miller Maintenance. Vincent Feister is a professional moving company. That's what they do. We checked with all the references. They've done jobs even larger, more complex than ours. Miller Maintenance is just getting into the moving business. The references checked out pretty good, but they were very, very small jobs, nothing like what we're doing. What we're going to do is clear everything that's in the EOC out of the EOC, move it to various storage. Some of it's long-term. We won't have access to it for 15, 18 months. This price includes that, storing it at a control facility for up to 18 months, insuring it while it's in their storage facility, and then bringing it back and unpacking it when we move back into the EOC. So that's why the number looks high when you just think about moving, but there's 18 months of storage in here, there's insurance in here, and there's bringing it back and unpacking it in the new EOC when it's done, all in this price.
Their
So,
tab and labeling, everything will go back exactly the way it came.
yeah, for instance, you know, if you have a file cabinet and it's in Office 123, it'll be labeled Office 123. Maybe it belongs to Dustin or Daniel. It'll have their name on it, then it'll have drawer 1, drawer 2, drawer 3, and 4, and that's the way everything gets boxed. So when it comes back, you know, I had that in this cabinet, and so it's a lot of logistics to it, and that kind of makes it a little more expensive too. We tried to get local moving companies to bid it, and when we expected them to do it in an organized fashion, they just said it wasn't the way they work. You know, they didn't feel comfortable with it, so we wound up with these two. I'd like to be able to give the job to Vincent Feister so we can get started and get this move underway.
So move. Second.
Master King,
Yes.
Carter?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
Mr. Combs?
Yes.
Judge Clark?
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Judge's report, just a few things. One really good thing, and Cheryl sent this over, that the Madison County Fiscal Court and the Madison County Sheriff's Office has been awarded funds through the Law Enforcement Protection Program. This is $22,000 that will be used to purchase 40 body armor vests at $550 apiece. So, Mike, I know Cheryl's worked with you a lot on this, and this is just, a good way the fire department's doing the same thing. We've got new bunker gear working through Homeland Security, and these small grant programs, so just a little bit at a time, and saves you and us a whole lot of money. So we appreciate you and Cheryl working on this. But I did want to announce that. Battle of Richmond displays in the front lobby. Philip and Scott have done a lot of work on that, and hopefully everybody will stop by and look at that and when you leave the courtroom. It's really nice. Farmers Market, going to have a ribbon cutting on First Street at 10:30 Saturday morning. They're going to start that, and they hope to get it kicked off really well and a whole lot of participants, and think it could be really good to get people downtown. That's what the mayor and city manager and the commissioner are trying to do, is get more people downtown, spend money and participate in things down here. That's really all I have on the judge's report. Comments from department heads? Dwayne, James, Phil?
Any more updates on the EOC status, Judge, or are you happy with where we're at?
Well, I think we're in good shape. I mean, the bids, and I'll say something about it when I announce the time for the next meeting, so.
I've got something, Judge.
Kenny?
We've got, there are two bills in the House and one in the Senate right now to try to allow school systems to be open and have students in the schools on Election Day because of the weather. They said they're going to do it under emergency reasons only. That would completely cripple. We use 11, of 17 polling locations, 11 number schools in Madison County. And there's no way we can move voters in and out like we need to, have kids in the schools and the transportation of the kids in and out. It would destroy us here in Madison. And there's
Parking will be held.
there's just, the superintendents, their group is making a whole lot of promises, and they sound good, but they're not realistic. Like if you talk about voting at Kit Carson, imagine trying to get into Kit Carson to vote when the kids are trying to get out.
Go to Silver Creek.
It's impossible, right? There's just one way
They're
in, one
lined
way
up
out
on
those schools.
Out on the road at Kit
Yep.
Carson.
So if anybody out there, any of you guys talk to any of our reps or Senator Carpenter, let them know that it's, understand the school boards are in a pinch, but that's not a solution. It just creates more problems for us.
Okay. Thanks, Kenny. Any other department heads, Mike? Anything good? Comments from magistrates, Greg?
Just everything's going pretty good. Snow's arrived again, so maybe it won't be long. Weather break and things will go better. So other than that, it's good to be here.
Okay, thanks. Roger?
Just a snow, Judge, that's all we got to talk about.
Bill Ray?
I wish to mention it earlier, when farmers renew their farm tags for the farm trucks, they got an opportunity to give $10 it gets distributed between the FFA, 4-H, and Kentucky Proud. And it's a good investment that we farmers could use to support those three very important entities, 4-H, FFA, and Kentucky Proud. And it would really be nice because there's a lot of counties that really the farmers contribute a lot of money, make that contribution. I wish Madison County, we could be a leader in the state too in supporting these three entities. So wished I'd said something about that earlier because the farm tags are due March the 1st. So other than that, that's it.
Okay, Larry?
Well, Judge, I got this letter from this Kentucky Field Trial Association really giving Mike, it blowed him out of the water. He's done such a good job, and I just want to commend him for doing that. I mean, that's in my district, and from time to time, they do have problems out there, but evidently you've been really patrolling that, and you've got plans to even step it up even further, and I just want to commend you for that and your crew. Thank you. It's not too often you get letters like this, and I'm sure you got one. But if you didn't, I'd be glad to share this one with you, but it's really good. And I know the road crew's out. We didn't get that much snow in Berea. I think y'all may got a little more than we did, but, you know, when you go south, you don't get as much. But it's no warmer over there, I can assure you that. But other than that, I'm just glad to be here, Judge.
Glad you're here. Okay, comments from the audience. Do we have somebody that wanted to come up and say a few words? If not, next court meeting, it's a special time. It'll be Tuesday, March the 11th, and we're having that at 11 o'clock. And the reason for that is that we'll be opening bids on the new EOC, the expansion, the $6 million expansion. And the way that Carl and I have been talking to the architects and the people that are really on the ground with this, and a lot of these vendors will get bids on their equipment and supplies that morning to lock it in, and could be a tremendous savings, not only to them but to us. So they needed an extra hour and a half to get those in and then come on in. They couldn't get here. Some of them probably be coming from Louisville and Cincinnati. So I agreed to move that, but that's the reason why we're having it at 11 o'clock on March the 11th.
You providing lunch, Judge?
Yeah, if you want.
Let me hear, Judge.
He'll be here, yes. And other than that, a motion to pay claims, approve the transfers.
So moved.
Second.
Master King?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Clark?
Yes. Thank everybody for coming in. We appreciate it on a rough morning. And a motion to adjourn.
All in favor?